Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Reviews, and in today's review I'm actually going to be reviewing Blink Twice. And if you didn't see, you might have been watching on Spotify. I was blinking twice to emphasise the fact that we're reviewing Blink Twice, right? So before we get into this review, this is all gonna feel a bit weird for some people because it's been about 6 or 7 days since I did a video, because obviously there's not really been too much to review. There's not been that many kind of movies coming out, or I've just not chosen to go out to the cinemas and pick a random movie, give myself time to process it and then review it in its entirety, or however I do it. So that's why. Also, my LED light, neon light thing broke because the actual plug is kind of like ran out, and it's kind of, I would just call it expired. So I won't go into too much detail about that because you're not here for some like technology breakdown of how my LED neon light thing broke. So there's that. And so before we get into this review, I'll give you a bit of context, and then I'll give you kind of my movie experience with this kind of movie. So before we get into this, right, it's directed by Zoe Kravitz, and context is that I'm pretty sure I did talk about the Batman on my reviews channel, podcast, whatever, a couple of years ago, about how I went to see that movie and how I felt about that movie. And so Zoe Kravitz was actually Catwoman in that movie, right? And then there's also Channing Tatum in this movie, and there's a bunch of other actors in this movie. So just basing it off that context alone, Channing Tatum, how do I feel about him? So he was very, very good in Deadpool and Wolverine. He has one of the most fun and funniest cameos ever. And so there was that. And also he's been in stuff like 21 Jump Street, and I'm aware of those movies, but I'm not somebody who just like is dying to see Channing Tatum movies. So for me, when it comes to actually my thoughts on this movie, it's going to be certainly interesting. So there's that. And so without further ado, I'm going to get into my thoughts about this movie, and I will talk about what this movie is about. But because of the nature of this movie, because it's actually a thriller, and it's like, you know, there's a twist and a reveal and all of that, I'm not going to spoil this movie. I would actually recommend you to go in as blind as possible. But the vaguest way I can describe this is that you've kind of got this movie where there's something really strange happening at this one kind of island place, and there's these people, they get drawn into this island, and there's reasons, and the movie kind of goes into why they go to this island way late into the movie, and I won't explain that. But there's kind of like a mystery in this island, and it's like, oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, what's gonna get crazier? Oh, what's gonna happen to these people? Are they gonna die? And it's kind of like that kind of scenario. So I won't go any further. So, Blink Twice, what did I think? So I actually did enjoy this movie, but I will say that as time has went on, this movie, it hasn't became like a mixed bag, but it's became like a flawed sense of brilliance, and that is the best way I can describe this movie, because the cinematography, the sound design, the soundtrack, all of that is actually amazing. But where it kind of is like, why am I watching this movie, is a lot more later on in the movie, the last 30-40 minutes, where the plot unfolds, and it's like there's just so much going on, it's so crazy. Oh, we need to reveal everything all at once, we need to go and reveal it all right now, otherwise you'll never find out what actually happened, kind of thing. And so the reason why I think the cinematography, the sound design, all that's good, is because the director, Zoe Kravitz, she kind of like manifests this kind of style where she has this music that's like actually James Brown in this movie, and you'll understand what I'm talking about when you watch the movie. That is technically not really a spoiler, as there was actually James Brown music in the trailer, right? So you kind of get to see that, and how this music kind of plays into things. And then there's points where the camera is like flipped on its head, or the way things are shot are kind of unexpected. You're just like, there's points where it's so close up and it's a bit weird, and there's points where it's pointed a certain way and it's kind of strange. So they've managed to create a really uncomfortable scenario, and so you get kind of interested in what's going on in that kind of department. But then the pacing of this movie, like the first hour I'm interested, and then the final act, it's like the last 30-40 minutes, it's like it just keeps going on and on and on and on, and I'm checking my phone non-stop here. Like, well, I say non-stop, I'm kind of exaggerating, but 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 occasions, it's like it's 10:30 at night, it's like 11:30 or like 11 or whatever. It's like, oh, the movie's finally over or whatever. It's, oh my god, it's finally over. And it's one of those movies where it's like I was just waiting till the movie ended. I was like, I want this movie just to end now. It's like, why is it going on for so long? But one thing I forgot to mention about this movie is that I really did enjoy Channing Tatum in Deadpool and Wolverine, and I did mention the fact that Channing Tatum isn't a guy that I'm like, I have seen 21 Jump Street 21 times or something like that, right? I will say that Channing Tatum is probably my favourite performance in this movie, because there are points where this movie actually has hilarious lines and it's a comedy, so you aren't actually scared by what's going on, and I did enjoy that about it. But his performance kind of stands out because I guess he's kind of like, he's so kind of vital to the story, and I wish I could say why he is, but the way he kind of acts and how he just acts normal, and he's this guy that just gets things done. He's like, oh yeah, we're doing it right now, oh yeah, I'm the man, I'm the top dog kind of thing. And it was kind of funny to see how he was like that, and he was just acting like this chill, you know, like millionaire dude, like tech mobile dude, whatever they mention in the movie. And it's like, oh, this is kind of cool how he is the top dog and he's acting so cool, and he just says these funny things to this one lady in the movie, and it's quite funny. And so there's definitely that. And out of 10, right, I would actually give this movie like a solid, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. So it's not bad. It's not bad, right? I wouldn't say this movie is horrible, but it's pretty flawed in my opinion. There's a lot to love, and then there's a bit where it's like, oh no, why does this movie have to go on for so long? Like, I would actually prefer them to just kind of cut out the last 30 to 40 minutes, so I have said that quite a few times. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this review. This is a bit of a different review, bit of a weird review, as I did mention that I've not uploaded anything in a while, like 6 or 7 days. So yeah, blink twice. Make sure you don't blink twice or regret watching this video, because this is a video you want to be watching, as I haven't done a video in 6 or 7 days. So yeah, bye. Blink twice.